Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be going over a brand new release from Tati Westbrook, also known as Glam Life Guru here on YouTube. She just released a brand new palette by Tati Beauty. She does have a supplement line already. Never tried that, but when she released this palette, you guys went ham in my comment section and asked if I was going to pick this up. So obviously I had to pick it up and check it out for you guys, but this is the Tati Beauty Textured Neutrals Palette, Volume 1, which obviously leads everybody to believe that there's going to be more than one volume, and she does say that in her video that she did, that there's going to be several different ones and ones with more color. This one is just the neutrals palette, and as you can see, it has all of her favorite colors in there, and we have 5 different textures with the same kind of color story behind each one of them. I'm going to get into the details, and then I'm going to get into 2 different eye looks. I do this one right here as well as the one that I was wearing in yesterday's video, my favorites and fails. So you'll get to see how these shadows perform. I use every single one of the finishes, and I definitely have some pros and cons to this palette. And one thing I appreciated about Tati and her video was that she said that she wanted feedback, and I think that's amazing. I think brands definitely grow whenever they get feedback. So this is just an unbiased review of the palette. I've used it several times, and again, I have 2 different eye looks, so you guys will see that. Anywho, the palette retails for $48, and you're getting 24 pans in here. I was trying to figure out what to say because this is called a pressed powder palette, but then these are glitters and stuff, so 24 different pans. There's 4 different finishes. We have glitter, metallic, sequin, and mattes, and then all of them have the same name. So right along the bottom we have memory, ritual, story, soothe, aura, and poet. And then you just have them in the different finishes. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to swatch these for you, and I'm just swatching them in the rows of the finishes. So the very first row are the glitters for memory, ritual, story, soothe, aura, and poet. Then we have the metallics, again in the same exact order. After that, we have the sequins, which is a matte formula with a little bit of glitter thrown in. And right after that, we have the straight up mattes. You can get this palette on her website, which I will link down below. Right now, it is sold out. However, she has a pre-order that is going to be guaranteed to ship by December 15th. So if you're interested in it, I would definitely sign up for that pre-order. That's the basic knowledge you need to know about this palette. You've seen the swatches, so now I'm going to go ahead and move along to the 2 different eye looks. I apologize, the second look, which is the one that I am wearing right now, I thought my mic was on and it wasn't, so it is a voiceover. I didn't want to sit here and let the camera be what the audio was because my camera goes Have you ever heard that noise on someone's video, like the camera's lens just moving around? It drives me bonkers, so I would assume that it would drive you guys bonkers as well. So again, it's going to be a voiceover. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into those 2 looks, and then I will give my feedback. Zoeva 227 and the matte version of Soothe. Starting on the very outer corner, I am going to place this down. Tapping motions first, kind of wiggling it into place. Picking up a little bit more, adding a little bit more to the outer corner again. Then I'm going to start working it upward. Bringing this shade further into the crease. Again, still working upward as well. I just want to mention really quickly that I am having to take just a little bit more time than usual for blending this shade out, making sure that it looks nice and even. Same brush, I'm going to pick up Ritual in the matte formula, and I am going to tap this on the outer corner. It's a lot of pigmentation, so I'm going back and forth. Just concentrating on working the shade out, blending it, working it upward to kind of create a smoky effect. Again, I am really having to work with this shade. It has a lot of pigmentation to it, but what I'm having to do is kind of dip back in because I can get it to blend out, but then it'll be slightly, just slightly patchy. And just for these two colors, we're working on 16 minutes of blending, which is not typical for me, so I just want to throw that out there. I am getting it to work though, so I don't want it to come off like complaining or anything. I'm just, you know, these videos are typically pretty short. I just want to make sure you guys know that I'm having to put a little bit more effort, but I'm not getting a bunch of fallout, so that's good. Clean blending brush. This is the Crease 2 from Sonia G. I'm going to go around the edges of this and soften some things up. MAC 221, and I'm going to go in with Memory. Again, still sticking with the matte formula. I'm going to tap this right on the outer portion of the eye right here. It's a very black, which is really nice. I'm going to kind of attempt to slightly smoke this out just on the outer portion right here. Don't want to bring it up too high. Sonia G Builder 3 and the Sequin version of Soothe. I am placing this directly onto the lid. It's a beautiful color. Lightly tapping over the last shades we laid down. I want to see if I can keep any of the glitter on my eyes. I did prime my eyes the way I normally would with my Anastasia Beverly Hills primer. So this was not set. I wanted to see if it would just hold on to the glitter or not. Right now I can't see the glitter. I'm probably gonna have to like zoom in to see, or zoom into a mirror. What am I talking about? I'm gonna have to get closer to a mirror and see if any of that shimmer is staying put. I'm getting a lot of product on my brush and I'm tapping it into place. So hopefully the glitter is staying. MAC 242, I'm going to grab Aura in the metallic version. I'm going to place this right at my brow arch. Looking in a tiny little mirror right here, trying to see if I see any of that glitter from the sequin shade, and I really am not. And I want glitter, so I am going to put on some glitter. I'm going to stick with the Builder 3 from Sonia G, and still in the Soothe section, I'm going to grab the glitter. As you can see, the brush does a really good job of picking that up. Now I'm going to press it on my eye. I know this works really well with your finger. I used it yesterday, putting it on my lid, just, you know, testing out the shades a little bit. And I use my finger, but because of my nails, I have a harder time getting the glitter to stay right where I want it. I don't want this all up in my crease or anything, so I am using this brush and it's applying very nicely. I think this looks so much better. This is really pretty. The glitters in here seem to be very nice. Pressing, I am not swiping. I am only pressing. Wayne Goss 27S and Ritual Metallic Formula. Taking this right along the lower lash line. And I think that is going to do it for this look because I kind of want to leave my inner corner blank. I kind of like the whole smoky effect. I feel like that glitter brought this whole look together, and I really like this, so I don't want to touch it. So I'm going to go add on, I think I'm going to add on some lashes actually, and I'll be right back. I finished off this look with a little bit of liner and then Kiss Ritzy lashes. Now let's move on to the look that I'm wearing today. First, I'm going to start off with a Rephr SO1. This is a prototype brush and the shade Poet in the matte formula. I'm starting off by placing this on my very outer portion of the lid, on the outer V, kind of tapping it into place. And then I am going to start working it upward, just in circular motions, blending. As less product is on my brush, I'm bringing it a little bit further in on the inner corner and still just working on blending it upward. I'm having to continuously blend because there's a spot that isn't blending out, and then there's another spot that isn't kind of holding the product. So it's a little bit patchy, but overall I'm able to work this shade out. BK Beauty 202, same Poet shade, but now with this sequin formula. I'm kind of tapping this into the crease at first because I want to see if I can get the glitter to adhere, but then I abort ship and I start blending. And as you can see, the glitter just kind of goes away, but I'm able to get this shade to deepen up the crease a little bit. And then I'm going to go in and deepen up the outer V. With a Smith Cosmetics 230, I'm picking up the sequin version of Memory. I am tapping this on the very outer corner and kind of blending. Going in small little circular motions, trying not to get this too far up. But then as I kind of blend right here, it catches right on this outer portion of my eye, and there's like this little spot is driving me nuts. And I don't think it's as visible on camera as it was in person, but I continuously had to keep blending right there because it did not want to move. With an Esam W21, I'm grabbing the metallic formula in Story. I'm placing this on the inner portion of my lid first and then kind of tapping over. I'm bringing it over black. And as you can see, the formula is a little bit sheer, so I'm gonna have to go back in and add some more. You could use this wet if you wanted to, but I'm just building it up. MAC 252 in the shade Aura in the matte formula. I'm going to apply this right underneath my brow arch, and then I'm also going to blend all around it because I want to soften up that pink shade and just make it look a little bit more blended. The metallic alone on the lid, I wasn't loving this look, so I went ahead and added glitter again. So I'm taking Aura in the glitter formula on my Esam W21. I'm packing this all over the lid, and I'm also kind of bringing it slightly up into the crease so that this look doesn't have a harsh line. This brush applies the glitter beautifully. I'm telling you, this glitter is such a good formula. Right here, I'm stopping to show you guys the patchiness that I have going on the outer corner of my eye. With the glitter going over top of everything, you're not going to be able to see it. Going in with the Tom Ford number 12, this is the synthetic haired brush, and I'm grabbing Poet in the metallic formula. I'm dragging this all along the lower lash line, and I am using it dry. Sonia G Pencil Pro Metallic Aura, and I'm going to place this on the inner corner. After this, I'm going to go ahead and finish off the look with my liner and lashes. I finished off this look the same way that I did the first look, which was to add a little bit of liner to the very top lash line, just very thinly, so that when I put on my lashes, Kiss Ritzy Lash, I didn't have any, like you didn't have to see the band or anything like that. And that's all that I did. So just the lashes, a little bit of liner, and then mascara at the bottom. Getting into my thoughts, I'm going to start off with the packaging. I like the outside packaging. I think it's really nice. You have that kind of NARS, kind of grippy type of feeling. Tati Beauty, very clean on the front. The one thing that I've got to say that I don't love about this is, it comes with a sleeve. So this is the sleeve for it. I don't see the actual name of this palette anywhere, and I'm looking and looking and looking. So on the back it just says glitter net weight, the metallic weight, distributed by Tati Beauty. It's vegan, cruelty free, and it just says volume 1 down below. Tati Beauty, same thing. And we are getting the same on the sleeve. So I wish that it actually said textured neutrals somewhere on the palette. It would have been nice, even if it was just up top right here. It just bothers me that I'm gonna have to look it up if I want to use this palette again, because knowing me, I will forget the name of this palette. So I wish the name was somewhere on here. It feels really nice in my hand. It has a nice weight to it. And then the mirror inside is phenomenal. It is huge, and it does go all the way back. So if you want to just lay this down, you absolutely can. That's how I used it the entire time. I personally don't use the mirrors in here, but I know a lot of people do. So if you do, this is a big one, it's a good one, and you will like it. Getting into the formula, I'm just gonna go from the bottom mattes all the way to the top and talk about each individual formula and how I feel about them. She did mention that these have coconut derivatives in them, so that makes them a little bit more creamy. I can't use anything coconut oil or anything like that on my face or I will break out. However, on my eyes, it is no big deal. So just in case you are wondering, now if you're allergic, that's a completely different thing. Do not put them on your eyes. If you're allergic to coconut oil, coconut derivatives, do not put them on your eyes. It does make them feel very creamy. This matte formula right here, very, very pigmented. This black will literally stain my finger. If I go and I just wiped it off. It stains my finger. So these have a lot of pigmentation to them. The one thing that I had trouble with this matte formula was that they're so pigmented, and then they're kind of that creamy texture. I had trouble getting it to blend out and be softer. So it wants to be this color on your eye, which isn't bad, but it makes it difficult to get a nice blend around the edges, and it can get kind of muddy. I felt like I really had to take my time with this formula. I had to blend a lot longer than what I typically do, and then I couldn't diffuse it as much as I wanted to. There were several times during my application with these mattes that I just felt like I wanted it to be softer and blended out more, but I just had to add more color to keep it from being patchy. And that could be because I don't set my eyes, so maybe this formula isn't compatible with just a straight up onto the primer. That is something I'm going to have to test out, but I did have issues with these mattes. I just have to be honest with you guys. Pro, that they are very, very pigmented, and a con is that they can get muddy and you do have to really work with them. When I went in with Ritual, I wanted to use that on the outer corner and it be darker and then be softer on the inner portion of the crease. And I just couldn't do that without it being slightly patchy. And I don't even know if that caught on camera yet because I haven't gone to edit this, but it definitely happened. And then even with the Memory shade, which again, so pigmented, but it doesn't want to move. When you blend, I got little spots. So on this eye in particular, which is covered up by glitter, it's one of the great things. When I went to blend, where the brush would go in little circular motions, it would grab in certain spots. So then I would have to blend out a little further than I wanted to. The matte formula, isn't my favorite for how I apply shadows. And I apply my shadows on top of an unset base. I use Anastasia's primer and I don't set my eyes. I only set right underneath my brow arch. That's it, because I like to kind of diffuse the line of my right where I clean up my brows. I'm gonna have to play with this a little bit more. Maybe it'll work a little bit better on top of a primer that's already been set. It's something I'm going to have to try and get back in with you guys. This row right here, the sequins. I'm going to show you guys this clip because I want you guys to see this palette without any lighting or anything like that, because this is stunning to look at. You're looking at them, and especially Poet has all these beautiful sparkly blue glitters in them. You really can't see it as well unless you are in lower lighting. So I went into the hallway and I took a video so you guys could see what this palette looked like before I even touched it. While these glitters look amazing in the pan, unfortunately, even with packing them on your lid with an unset eye, so this is where I don't think that's going to work. I feel like I might need to set my eye to get the mattes to be a little bit easier to use. But then if I'm trying to use anything like the metallics, why do I do that? Metallics or the sequin shades, I'm not going to have anything to really grab a hold of those. I like my primer grabbing a hold of my metallic shades and any kind of glitter or anything like that, because it just gives it something to grab onto and hold on. Whereas if you set your primer, then it's easier for it to fall off. I used these and I've used them on camera in the video. You saw me use Soothe, and this has beautiful gold sparkle to it. I packed it on my lid. The brush applies beautifully, and I packed and unpacked and unpacked. That glitter still did not stay, and it was on top, straight on top of the Anastasia one. Now, maybe if I used glitter glue, however, that is going to create a harsh line because this is a matte formula with a glitter inside. So you can imagine it's going to be a little bit harsh. So I wouldn't want to do that. Now, I'm going to insert another clip. That is of this row right here, right after I swatched these on my daughter's arm. You can actually just blow the glitter away. So you swatch it, you pack it on the arm, and she took, I let her just go, and the glitter's gone. After the glitter is gone, these two shades, two rows right here, are pretty much identical. I'm going to show you guys a little clip of them side by side. I had started to wipe this row off before I realized that I wanted to swatch these right underneath it, so that's why the top row looks a little bit like smudged. Without the glitter, you essentially have two rows of the same exact shade. So I feel like this could have been completely taken out. And it's not just her or her formula. It's any type of matte that has glitter in it. They typically just don't stay on the lid. You have to put in that extra effort to make them stay. And to me, that's not worth it. I would much rather just go in with these glitters. That's just me personally. For the metallics, these are nice because they are very smooth. They do not add a bunch of texture to the lid or anything like that, but I don't think they're all created equally. This one right here is definitely like, bam, it is so pretty. This is the memory one, and it is my favorite along with Aura. I love this shade right here. The other ones, you do have to build up a little bit more to get the pigmentation, but they're very smooth. And if you use them wet, you will be able to get a little bit more drama out of them, but they're not as pigmented as this first one. This first one is just like right out the gate. The other ones you're going to have to build up, or if you're somebody who likes to have a metallic that's just a little bit more subtle, these are going to be for you. I personally do like to have a metallic that's, even if it's smooth, to be a little bit more impactful, like this shade right here. But again, you can use them wet. I almost went in with this one wet on my lower lash line because, as you can see, it's not as va-va-voom as I would like it to be, but I wanted to see what it looked like dry. My favorite formula is the glitter. These kill it. This is what makes the entire palette, in my opinion. This formula is amazing. I think she did such a wonderful job. You can take these and you can put them on with your finger, or a brush. I used a brush both times and it applied very, very well. With that being said, these are not eye safe. Just like other palettes that we have seen on the market, like the ColourPop ones that had the glitter shades in there, and then some other palettes have glitters in them, they can't be called eyeshadow palettes because you can't technically use them all on your eyes. They're not considered to be eye safe. So you have to be careful with this. Even whenever you are applying them with your finger, if you're using glitter glue, if you're not using glitter glue, I don't think you need anything to make these adhere. They adhere very, very well. But you still are going to get fallout on your face. You're going to get it in your lashes. And every time I wore them, I wore the glitters 3 times. And every time I wore them, I did get one in my eye. It did not scratch my eye or anything like that. But it's just something to keep in mind. And I say that with every glitter. You just got to be careful about it. The color story is something that everybody is going to be able to use. And Tati said she wanted to come out with a neutrals palette. These are her favorites. You got a little bit of her purples. And when I think about Tati, I definitely think about purples with her. And then all of these neutral shades. And you've got so many different looks. Each of these make a look. And you can do something dramatic or a little bit more subtle, just depending on what you want to do. And then she even mentioned that you can go diagonal. It's a very easy palette to make looks out of. But I have to say, the sequins, they can just be taken out completely for me because it's just really no different than the mattes. The glitters just don't stay. Obviously without any use of any extra glue or anything like that. And I have tried these with just patting it on with my finger. Even if they're there initially, it still does not stay throughout the day. I just want to throw that out there again. I'm not being negative. I'm just telling you guys the truth. And this is not a review on Tati. It's a review on the palette. For me, if you're going to ask if this is an absolute must-have palette, I'm going to have to say no. However, I 100% believe in supporting your favorite influencer. If you absolutely love Tati and she's somebody you watch all the time, I think it's a beautiful thing to support those that you absolutely love. So if you do, I don't think that this is a bad palette. I just think it's something that you are going to have to work with, and you're going to have to be okay with working with it. And maybe you won't have as much struggle as I did. That's just my opinion. Now, for those who want something like this, I'm gonna tell you, you probably already have a lot of these shades already in your collection, and if you really want those glitters, what did I do with it? Oh my goodness, where are you at? It was in my lap the entire time. I'm sitting here looking all around, and it's in my lap. But if you are looking for something like the glitters, but you don't want to have the rest of the palette, Pixie by Petra at Target. This one right here is the Gold Lava palette. I'm just going to quickly swatch these on my finger. This is the first thing I thought about whenever I saw the glitters in that palette. So if you're just looking for some great glitters and you don't necessarily want the entire palette, this is a really great option. They have 3 different colors, I think, and they are $14, and these work really, really well. But anywho, that is it, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, found it informative. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not already, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.